that was my intro, and it was using the harmonic minor in A, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the Hungarian minor in A. And you may ask, why do those two scales go together over the same progression? Well, they do, as you can tell, and we'll get into that later. But right now, our main focus throughout this video will be the song Last in Line by DIO. And we'll get there eventually, but we have a little journey to take till we get there. And DIO is Ronnie James Dio, Jimmy Bain, Vinny Appice, and Vivian Campbell, and Claude Schnell, which was, Vivian Campbell was the last one to join, I believe. Maybe it was Claude. I don't know. I don't know if you count Claude, but he was on stage. And anyway. So we got Holy Diver from 1983. And the greatest guitar solo on Holy Diver, in my opinion, is Rainbow in the Dark. And here's the rhythm part. Okay, so that, along with the keyboard part, was Rainbow in the Dark intro. And since that was my favorite guitar solo on the album, I played the rhythm part of Rainbow in the Dark. Now, here's my favorite rhythm part on Holy Diver, which is Stand Up and Shout. Okay, so that was the cool rhythm, and I'll explain. We Stand Up and Shout, and I love how the drums go into the second verse, and I like how the C, E, C, F, and C is one part into the chorus, and then the second chorus, there's more to it and more intricate of just the basic C, E, C, F, and C. There's a G in there and stuff like that. But I wanted to play that part. And another thing I wanted to say about that is how I do this. And that is intended to go along with the drum fill, because I love that. I try to incorporate that with bands I've been in, and the drummers would sometimes just look at me like, huh? So I was trying and they failed. But anyway, that's it with Holy Diver from 1983. Oh, and Holy Diver, excuse me. Ronnie James Dio came up with the Holy Diver riff on bass, just to let you know, in case you didn't know. Sacred Heart is the king of rock and roll from '85. That's the single coil. I kind of like the humbucker part. So from there on, he's the king of rock and roll. Yeah, that's cool. Cool rhythm part. And I have to say, Vivian's one of my favorite rhythm parts. I was always into George Lynch back then, but I think Vivian Campbell and Dio, 3 albums that Vivian was on, was more influence to me than I even know. Because the rhythm part is kind of just the way I like to play rhythm. I like to throw in the bar chords. Yeah, like Vivian does. So, we got King of Rock and Roll, and then Sacred Heart. And the reason I like this one is using dyads along with the open A. Kind of like that. It's cool. It's an 80s thing. It's using dyads, and along with the open A string, as I just said. But here it is. Yeah. So that starts off like, and then slides with the drums. That's what I love. And I wish I could find a drummer like Vinny Appice. But of course I don't think there is one. Then we move on to, and then here's the sequence, which I like. That major or whole step, to the minor half step, and then of course, as I said, it's just more of what I like to do in rhythm. Anyway, so we move on to this song, which is a big deal for me. I used to play along with it. I wouldn't say air guitar. I had my right hand here, the pick hand, and I would play along with it with another lie. Like this, such as that. Before I learned it. That was back when it came out in 85. So I never bothered to learn it, just I knew I could, but anyway. Rattling on again. Here's another lie. There again, if you listen to that song, the drums are right there, and Vinny is throwing in some like quick 16th notes or whatever they are through that rhythm song. I love to have a drummer that could do that. Whoa! And I'm not the only one. I heard Vivian in some of his interviews on YouTube, of course, has said how he loves playing with Vinny Appice as a drummer. And boy, I'm right up there with Vivian. In essence, it seems like Vinny Appice is playing rhythm guitar as a drummer because he's right there with the rhythm guitar. And I love that about drummers, where they're right there in the pocket, kind of like a football player. Oh, but this is so true. Vinny Appice is right in the pocket with Vivian Campbell, and if that doesn't say it, then I don't know what will. That is the absolute essence of that phrase. He's right in the pocket, and he's throwing in those notes in the middle, and he just would be a wonderful drummer to work with if somebody could play like him that I would meet. But I don't know if anybody, I don't know. But anyway, you can be hopeful. But that Another Lie is all in perfect force, and to coincide with this perfect force and a DIO album is The Man on the Silver Mountain with Perfect Force and Richie Blackmore as a guitar player. So here. Yeah, I messed up a little bit, but that's okay. You get the point. So that's Perfect Force, Man on the Silver Mountain. And one that could have been my first song that I learned, Perfect Force, but I'm sure it was, I know it was other people's first song that they learned, but if you don't play it this way, you're not playing it right. That was Richie Blackmore again with Smoke in the Water. And quite actually, the verse of those two songs are very similar. And whatever else comes to mind is My Woman from Tokyo, with the album cover. I don't know if it was the best of Deep Purple or what, but as a kid I remember seeing this Deep Purple album with a sparkling gold sparkles from Sparkles. And that was just so cool. But I don't know if you're with me. The only reason I couldn't play a Strat when I was younger, I would have been so frustrated, is because of the single coil sound. It was too thin, and because of the buzz. Well, as a kid, you don't want to be messing with that buzz. I had enough problems with the bad humbucker in my Les Paul when I went to rehearsals and jam with the band. I don't need a problem with a single coil. But I love Fenders, but it's just not the main one for me. That's why I got a humbucker here and a single coil. Anyway, moving on from there, and we're at Last in Line from '84, which was a great year with Madonna, Van Halen, and let's see, there's so many others. And I listened to them all on the radio, and I liked them. It's just I needed guitar. Where's guitar? Besides maybe Journey was in there, and Dio and Cyndi Lauper. I liked Cyndi Lauper's songs on there from the 80s, and so much others. Ghostbusters music. Anyway, it's nice to live in '84. I was a kid, but anyway, here's We Rock from Last in Line, which seems to be the last song that they play. Yeah, that was cool. It's using the A in the bass again, and it's dyad. Oh, you could really come vigorously on that with that attitude, or well, you're angry into that. Okay, so that was Last in Line album with We Rock. That's one of my favorite songs on there. And along with Last in Line, which you're going through right now, the clean intro part, which I will play it for you and then go over it. Okay, of course, we've got this. A minor 7, essentially, which is a C and an A. The C right here, the open A, to the B and the D, and then the back and forth with the A minor and the G, pretty much a G, G/B, and then the A minor 7 and G. You got this C and E with the unison of E and E, and this part, the B and the D, G, which is the B right here, the G, the D and the E, and throw in the G during the two A minor 7 and G. And we got this, the F suspended 2, which is F and C, open, the F and C, open B, and then A and C. And that's that. And then remember this on this part, the G, D, and E, and resolving on the D, and picking the G during these two chords. And this is the last part. During this, the A minor 7, be sure to get this open G, which is different than the other G I told you. This is the one that's B, G, D, B, and G. In the other ones, it was G, D, and E, G. So there's a difference. You need this one for the last part, before the distorted part. Home. Okay, so that's A, D suspended to D, A, C suspended to C, and from this A, you go into the verse. It's C, G, D, D, C, B, C, G. So it's C, G, D, C, B, C, G. Yeah, C, G, D, C, B, G, D, C, B, G, D, C, B, G, D, C, B, G. And so you got that. Now the verse. And so that's down. And that's definitely sounds like a Floyd Rose, which, side note here, is that, can you believe that in 1978, Edward used a Fender style tremolo to do that E and A. Cause I personally can hear that he used that non-Floyd tremolo because Steve Vai in it there for you. And anyway, so we move on. Let's see. We got through that part. Oh, we're on, still at the verse. So it's so we got the same part. Except you land on the open A there, and then do the lick to get back into the second verse, which is 3 and open, 3rd fret, C and A, C, A, and G. And then we're back into the next verse. All right, so that's basically the whole song. Going into that F and G part, and then into the chorus, which is and then the G part. And now it's the solo time. Okay, so we'll go right into the solo. It is the same part we know, the major scale part from the low end. And then the D to E, D, E, B. We're at the B here. We're on the 5th string so far. And then A to B on the 3rd string. And then the E and C on the 4th and 5th. So, vibrato, that's C. And now, part of the reason why I wanted to do this song, because of the harmonic minor, and I think it's cool, is Vivian using the harmonic minor in this song. The 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, and flat 7, and also the G sharp is what makes it harmonic minor. And so, the solo, we are right there. And as we're moving along slowly, but we're getting there, this is the harmonic part. Which is A, C, D, E, F, G sharp A, and then C and D, E and F, and then the G sharp A and B, hammering, pulling off to the G sharp here, and then we got the F and E, and then we got the D, C and B, and now we're on the 4th string, the D, So that's a G, F sharp, bending up the G to an A. And from there, it is the harmonic, it's the minor scale horizontally. And which is G, A, C, D, and E. Hammer and pull off, and A. Bend that A to B, and like that. And hold that. And that is, there's a slight vibrato there. So the E to G, the E to D, the C to D, and the C to B. I'm using artistic license on that because that G is just an open G. Due to the fact that Vivian recorded this with his Les Paul, and he didn't have his Tom Anderson or whatever else he was using at that time. A Kramer. That was back in the DIO days. Yeah. No. Charvel. Anyway. So I do that, but you don't have to. So right there at the D to E. And then we got this B, G to E twice. And then the C, G, and E twice. Or once, whatever. It's a feeling thing, remember. That is twice, I remember. And then this, and then which is the C, G, and E, and then the B, G, and E. So it's like this. And from this one, we go to the blues lick. And even as a young child, I could hear that was a blues lick. Because if you listen to any kind of music, like Steve Lukather, or anybody that uses blues licks, that's it. And actually, they work in the song, so anyway. So we do the blues lick. I go all the way to A, and then resolve with the vibrato on the D. And then the fast part, which is G, A, C, D, and E. But actually it's an arpeggio. And with the kind of a G and A kind of thing. Slide down like that, and then... And I go B, C, D, E, F, and G, and then it goes, and then climb my way down to the E, and then vibrato on the A. So like this, and vibrato and slide down, and then we got the B. Start off with the B, and we got the G, A, C, and D. G, A, C, and D. And I end that phrase in the A, and then go to this part, which is a D, E, G, and A. And I think I resolved that on the A, E, and then you don't just keep going, which that's what I used to do with this solo. I used to just play the minor pentatonic there, but after you listen to it closely, you can tell that there's more to it than just you skip the minor and go to the 17th fret of the A minor pentatonic. So it's G, A, C, and D, which is the A minor pentatonic, which is pretty much G, A, and C, and utilizing the D in there. That's more. There it is. It's more of C, D, and E, different phrase. And from that D, then you go hammer and pull off and bend the G up to an A. So. Now this brings me to the DIO part. When I was younger, I got whatever strings either my teacher gave me or that I picked up or that were just cheap. I don't know. Anyway, I tried these gauges, well-known brands, and they just sucked horribly. I can't believe one of those brands, the ball end broke. Now, how can you have the ball end break on my Les Paul on a string? That's the worst place. But it did. And it wasn't my incompetence of being a beginner. I know how to string up my guitar, and especially on a Les Paul, you just put the strings in. So it was the strings that were horrible. And then I finally, after all the strings are broke, go to my lesson, and or just at the music store, whichever, and I see DIO. And okay, these look cool, the blue and stuff, and so I tried those, and they put them on my Les Paul, and I used the 10 through 46 on my Les Paul back when I started playing, because I thought you'd get a better tone, is what I heard from 10s and that kind of stuff, and maybe some of my guitar players that I liked at the time used 10s, I don't know, but so I used 10s, and then after a while I switched, and I've been using 9s for a while. And so DIOs have been great. Of course, I've had DIOs break, but they're supposed to after a while. They don't last forever. But it's just no excuse for poor strings. And DIO are not poor strings. They're great strings. And I love the different colors at the ball end. Those are great. Makes them different and cool. I love that. Anyway. So yeah, I've been a DIO fan and user for 99% of my playing life. Anyway. So that is, as we move on, that is a solo. And that is what I do here. And I'm using artistic license here. But this bend is what is amazing what you do with these strings. And I don't change them every day like a professional musician would, or their roadie. So these strings are not that old, but yet they're not that new. So the bending it's just a great string. And no, I don't boil my strings. I don't know why you would do that. Anyway, that is E, G, and A. So that's E, G, and A. And bend that up is supposed to be like 3 fret bend. And I get that out of my DIO strings, 9 gauge. And that is like a 5 fret bend. Actually, I got it to B flat there. I'm thinking I'm aiming for B, but whatever, that works. Still B flat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 fret bend. So, and then from that bend, it's oh yeah, the E, F, and G, and the B, C, and D, and then the D, C, and B. So it's essentially like this. So from this B, I do the open harmonic. Again. And so that's the solo. That's how I end it. And we'll go with that. And we got the solo chords, which is this. Okay, so that is, the solo chords are the D, C, and B, and F. D, C, and B, and the A here, and then the G and A. And with the 4 measures of F and the 4 measures of A, you'll get that solo chords for Last in Line. Now, back to the beginning where I mentioned the harmonic minor in A and the Hungarian minor in A, how that works with the backing chords. Well, they work due to the fact that I used an A5, an E5, and an F5 on the piano. And I change up the order there, but basically that's what it was. It's those 3 A5, E5, and F5 chords. And the reason I wanted to bring up the Hungarian minor is from Franz Liszt. Say it correctly, Franz Liszt. Liszt. That's a cool ass name, isn't it? Is because of his Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2. Now, what got me into this Hungarian minor is that I went through and just looked for different scales that I could play that I liked, that I could incorporate into my playing. And, well, I found the Hungarian minor. I said, wow, I like that. And what I liked about it is that is that whole fret in between. And so mess around with it, and I like that Hungarian minor. And coming to my point, which is that the Hungarian Rhapsody number 2 by Franz Liszt is in C sharp minor, and it's featured in one of my videos that Tom and Jerry play the Steinway. It's a video of them at the cartoon, and Jerry's at the piano, of course, and then Tom's the cat, so Tom's playing the piano. Jerry is the mouse, and he's asleep on the keys. And Tom wakes Jerry up by playing this Hungarian Rhapsody number 2 in C sharp minor. And I've seen the sheet music, and it's in C sharp minor, and it's Franz Liszt. It's not too familiar with Liszt, but I'm glad I am with this piece, Hungarian Rhapsody number 2. And so I would like you to check out the Tom and Jerry at the Steinway video that I have, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel and give me comments, yeah, that would be cool. And I think that's about everything, but we're not quite done. I have something else, and here we go. Okay, so if you didn't already figure it out, that is the ending credits of the Stars video. The ending credits, as I said. The great chord progression. My first thought when I heard it is that the key it's in, I already had that assumed. But now that I think about it, I don't know why. I just assumed, I guess. But the key that it's actually in is, and it's in 3/4 time. And the progression is a minor 6 to a major 4 to a major 5. So, if you'd like, you could text or note me. Tell me what the what key it's in, if you'd like, by subscribing and texting me and letting me know what's going on with you in this song. And I had fun playing this Stars piece. I like it. And thanks for watching. And I guess we're not completely done. But I have this shirt, which is my DIO shirt that I made. It's a DIO EXL 120s, super light gauge, which is a 42, a 32, a 24, a 16, an 11, and a 9, the 9 gauge. And it's the gold, red, black, green, purple, and silver. And I got this rock on my shirt, and it's the nickel wound. And reason for this is because I'm a creative person, of course. And so I just had the urge to do that. And because of this, I've had since 84. I do believe it was 84. I saved up my string miles, my DIO, of course, and sent it in and got this shirt. And believe it or not, I still wear it in public occasionally. And this is probably my favorite. And I had a Gibson Les Paul shirt that I wore until it was ripped and stuff. I mean, I'm from the 80s, so there. And then I couldn't wear the Gibson Les Paul shirt anymore, which is a shame. And then there's this one that I've had since 84. And trust me, that's a long time. And XL's Rock and Till the Cows Come Home. And DIO. And I think you could still get this one off the DIO site, but you can't get the other one as far as I know. And during the COVID, I tried to use my points and get another pair of these shirts. But at that time, they quit using the send in your string packs for shirts. So there you go with that. And I had to make this shirt, which I think is cool. And of course, there it is. Yeah, I like it. And then of course, I guess it's one of my new shirts because those are getting old. And so that's my thing. I'm into DIO strings, and I used to get DIO stuff. I have a DIO handkerchief that I got, and some DIO stuff, and DIO is cool. Oh, and one thing I should tell you, I will tell you. Back in a long time when I was dating this girl, and we'd go to the Olive Garden, and you need to give them your name, right? Well, we used DIO. And the girl I was with thought, oh, that's so cool. Because she knew I was into guitar and stuff. She said, well, of course I told her that's the strings I use and stuff. So at the Olive Garden, the Italian restaurant, we used the name DIO, which I seem fitting, to get our table and our place in line. Okay, so that's it. I hope what I went through worked for you, and that's always my goal. Oh, I should probably play this for you. This is the Hungarian minor. It's Hungarian minor scale in C sharp. Okay, so yeah, check out the Tom and Jerry video at the Steinway on my videos that I have, and it's copyrighted, so you know I'm not getting any money for it. And what the piece that Tom is playing is the Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2 by Franz Liszt in C sharp minor. Okay,